Touching can be the simplest form of flirting a woman can use, and it is frequently done so subtly that you might not even notice it. It's intentional when they reach for the same piece of cutlery as you or touch your arm whilst they are laughing. When you are seated next to each other, there's also the swipe of the leg. Now for us girls, any chance to touch you and enter your personal space is exciting. It's also a good excuse to flex the muscles and wonder what's beneath those long sleeve shirts. Now the subtle physical contact that occurs when two people are interested in each other is a sure sign of chemistry and often an early indicator that romance may be on the horizon. Let's take a look, like and subscribe. Body language. Women are very perceptive, and body language is a key indicator of whether a situation is going well or horribly wrong and needs to end. When you are having a conversation, watch how she mirrors your arms and where she positions her legs. Now, crossed arms are viewed as a barrier between the two of you. If her arms are crossed, the conversation isn't flowing the way that you want it to. Her knees pointing towards you whilst you are sitting next to one another is a great sign that she's engaged in the conversation and she feels comfortable and intrigued by you. Her body language is a strong indicator of how she is feeling, and this can help you decide how to proceed with the conversation. Personal space. Our personal spaces are now well known to us all, and everyone, as far as we're aware, has personal boundaries and a small social circle that they prefer to keep unbroken, if you will, kind of like a sanctuary. Now, when a girl is smitten with you, she will step into this makeshift circle to get closer to you. She is allowed to press herself up against you and stroke your chest while you are in the circle. One way a woman may convey her desire for you without actually saying it is in this way. Therefore, pay attention to how close a woman stands to you when she's talking to you, if you do have this feeling that she is smitten with you. Detective. A girl asking you questions is a really good sign, despite how annoying it may be, to feel like you are in a talk show debuting your autobiography. Whether it's the information about you, your life goals, your past, or your thoughts, it demonstrates her interest in you and their desire to learn more about you than what first meets the eye. Women often mentally record some of those responses and then save them for later dates. Although the intimate details and its importance to you are not significant to her, it may not seem like much of a surprise to you. So basically, if she's not really asking you any annoying questions almost every day, she doesn't care enough about you or the relationship, so she's not secretly in love with you. Family. The first step a woman takes is never to introduce you to their close friends and, more importantly, their families, because they are natural homemakers. So when she does, you know it's serious. This is usually a safe haven for her. Now, the fact that you can go from casually dating to being in a relationship with just one visit proves just how crucial and important this step is. Now, don't get me wrong, some people may only have one or two friends or a loose relationship with their family, but both or either are important to them. So, an introduction is a really good sign that things are going well. Her best friend will always be protective and will probably say things like, if you hurt her, I will hurt you, so just be careful around her. The ride or die, her sister, best friend, or another person in her life with whom she feels completely safe and secure, would be in charge of handling these tasks. The more time you spend with her, the more likely you are to become her go-to person. Now, this could really be anything from the first person she thinks of when she hears something like win 2 tickets to this new place on the radio, for example, to the first person she wants to tell about her day. Now, it's not supposed to feel like a job role, so don't panic thinking you need to have all of these answers and bullet points prepared for when the time comes. It happens naturally. And to be honest, if it does so without you feeling like you have to talk about it, that means you're doing something right. Food. Asking you repeatedly, what have you eaten today? It's one of the most telling signs a girl can do to convey her concerns, feelings, and desires to be with you. Now, the idea behind it actually is pretty cute and endearing, despite how simple and perhaps even a little silly it may seem to some. When you don't eat, you're not taking care of yourself, and you may become ill. So if a girl asks you if you've eaten that day, she's really asking if you've taken care of yourself and given your body what it needs to produce energy throughout the day. So it's not so much the actual question of whether you have eaten as the thought behind it. Have you taken care of yourself today? This shows that she cares about you and your well-being. Jealousy. This one is for a select few women, since the majority of the women that we spoke to report that they no longer feel jealousy as they get older. Nevertheless, a sizable number of women have acknowledged that they experience jealousy when they are waiting for a guy to initiate the contact. Imagine meeting a guy, and as you get to know him, your feelings for him grow. However, you are a little too shy to tell him how you feel, so you decide to wait for him to ask you out. While you are waiting impatiently for him to ask you out, another girl starts to show an interest in him. The green-eyed monster will turn around and stare you down. Take note of the hint that the girl is waiting for you to make the first move if you are around her, and she starts to act just a little bit jealous. When another female is mentioned, a woman's facial expressions often shift to the sour end of the spectrum, which is one of the most noticeable signs of jealousy. The future. Listen up before you go off into the deep end and run for the hills, because I know this one can be intimidating. Plans for the future can range from we should totally go to the new restaurant that's just opened up, or we can get a dog and get a mortgage eventually if we don't marry by 30. There is a spectrum, so don't be alarmed, but making any sort of future plans is a really good indication that she sees a future with you and wants to kind of hazard a guess as to what might happen if things go on the way they are. Now, yeah, it may sound scary to think about, but when it comes down to it, making plans for the future together can be one of the most reassuring things in a relationship. Communicating. She may be interested in you if she is constantly flooding your phone with texts, Snapchats, Instagram comments, and likes. Once you reach a certain point, girls start to find comfort and pleasure in talking to you more than they do in what they're actually saying. She's simply pleased to be speaking with you in general and doesn't require a deep conversation. That said, having those in-depth, meaningful conversations is also very, very crucial. She can determine where you think she fits into your life by asking you if you feel secure enough to share your fears with her. Is she significant enough to receive news before anyone else? These are blatant signs to girls that you have feelings for them, and they are a huge sign to you that she has feelings for you as well. Plans. She is attempting to spend as much time as possible with you if she involves you in activities that may seem a little bit boring. For example, if she asks you to go shopping with her or to take her for a walk in the park to get her recommended daily amount of steps. She is clearly capable of completing these tasks on her own, and most likely in less time, but she's extending them in order to spend as much time with you as possible, whilst also getting her to-do list done. Or she could constantly ask you what your plans are so she can see if you are available to make plans with her. It can be annoying at times, but it's a clear sign that she is into you and wants to be around you at all times. Flirting. Have you ever been in a situation with a lady friend where you start hanging out and you start to notice that the jokes and the banter start to become just a little more flirtatious than usual? This is because she has grown fond of you over the course of your friendship and wants you to know it without her having to express it directly. She's showing you more and more flirty references and compliments as she develops feelings for you. She's giving you these hints in the hope that you'll pick them up, flirt with her in return, or even ask her out on a date. The giggles. Now this one really needs no explanation, right? Consider the teen character in those comedies about romance who giggles at everything a guy says. Why do you think she's doing that? Well, she can't help but restrain herself around that guy because of her feelings for him. Even though what he is saying is not actually that funny, it may sound ridiculous, I know, but a girl's natural reaction when around someone who makes her happy is to be laughing or to just giggle just a little bit. She may be laughing nervously because she is experiencing just too many emotions and she's unsure of how to react. If a woman laughs at everything that you say, this is a very good indication that she is smitten with you.